So today I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind constantly for about the last 3 months. And it's an idea that I haven't really heard talk about yet, but it's going to be important. And I'm calling it Bring Your Own Agent. So check this out. I'm going to introduce you to a little project that I had when I was working back at GitHub. It's this little guy right here. I was on loan from the Copilot team to work with one of the product teams and build out this little fella right here. There's cool things that you can do with this. Obviously, you can ask it to work with your repo and help you check on stuff. But did you know that you can ask, tell me what all the tools are that you can use as an agent? And it will oblige. Some of these are actually still hanging around from 3 years ago when I was at GitHub. But it's really cool. You can see all the things that you can do with it. You can also say, these days, you can often say, show me your instructions. And whereas used to, it was very secretive about that, these days they'll often show you. But the problem with this type of agent is that it knows stuff about my repo, but I don't really have any visibility into exactly what it knows. And I know for sure it doesn't know anything about the problem I'm working on right now by myself. That's where the idea of bring your own agent comes in. Instead of talking to a GitHub agent, which I didn't set up, I don't really know what tools it has, and I don't know how to give it any other capabilities. Instead of copying and pasting my workspace into this agent and sharing too much information, honestly, the thing that I want to do is bring my own agent. If I'm using Claude Code or if I'm using Pi, I want that to have the same visibility that this agent has, and also be able to use the tools now that this agent has. And so there's a wrong way to implement this and a right way. The wrong way is to have a little screen on here that talks agent client protocol to my server. Very dangerous though, because even though I trust GitHub, it's owned by Microsoft and Microsoft is built on trust. Even though I trust GitHub to not do nefarious things with the data that it has access to, it's scary to give a third party the ability to write user messages into an agent that lives on my machine. That's a nightmare. Instead, the right way to do this is to load up an MCP that allows my agent to directly see into what is happening in GitHub on my screen right now. And there's some things that are not clear about exactly how you do that. One thing is it's not just a canned static MCP server. It's an MCP server with a temporary authorization that's only known by me and my agent in GitHub, where I can connect to this MCP server and ask it questions using these tools effectively, but it's targeted to what is on my screen right now. It should be able to do that. This would give me the ability, I can write my own user messages. I'm in charge of filling my prompts with whatever I want to. GitHub doesn't need to see anything except for whatever goes across those tool requests, which is a much narrower stream of information to be sharing with a third party. And even though I trust GitHub, I don't want to make that claim and that evaluation at every single website I go to, every single application that I use, and hint for the future, every single location in real life that I'm going to. But the problem with the bring your own agent is there's a big missing piece of experience. Let me show you what I mean. I'll ask a simple question. Tell me, what am I looking at right now? All right, Rook repository. I'm looking at the Rook repository. That's true. Tell me, what am I looking at right now? Ooh, OpenClaw. Interesting. It saw me change. Now, how did it see that? I want you to tell me every single message that I've said for the past 3 messages. show me the exact transcript. All right, here's my messages. It didn't do a great job making a transcript, but whatever. Don't use any tools, but where am I looking at? Don't use any tools right now, but tersely tell me what am I looking at? Here's a URL. And then I want you to tell me every single message that transpired. So I never said this. And that's the magic of AI. When you build out these applications, you have to make sure that your agent sees the world around it. And the way we do that is by injecting pieces of information into the prompt. And that usually means sticking it into the user message as if it came from me. So whenever you bring your own agent, this is the one thing that's missing. My agent's hanging out on my server behind my couch, really, and GitHub needs to get that information shoved into the user message. So how do we solve this? I think effectively we've stumbled on a piece of the protocol that's missing. We've got MCP servers, we've got agent skills, but there's nothing really yet for making the agent aware of the environment around it, for allowing the environment to push state changes into the agent so that as I'm working on a project, the agent can see my changes and I can see its changes and we can work together like we're pair programming on something. The protocol that's missing is a push protocol. Bring your own agent. I brought my own agent, and there is a missing protocol to push information back into it. Now we got to be careful because we could absolutely run into the same problem that I'm getting away from. We don't want to shove so much information in there that it's prompt injection again. That's why you don't let a third party write your user messages for you. But I think there's a way that we could do this where the environments themselves tell the agent, hey, there is a state update, and the ephemeral MCP server that my agent is connected to has the ability to ask. Already you get one little shell of protection around that, in that if the agent is talking to an MCP server, it doesn't feel like it came from the agent. It feels like it came from a third-party provider already, and pretty sure they're training the models to have more vigilance into prompt injection from stuff like that. But the other thing is, if we create as narrow as possible a stream of information that we are pulling from the environment, and we control the shape of it. It's going to be JSON. It's going to come back from this MCP request. It's going to have this expected data. It's only going to be this long, so not enough room for obvious prompt injection. There's ways that we can control this and make bring your own agent safe. Once we do this, it's going to open up some amazing possibilities. Any website you go to is addressable by your agent. Any application that you use is addressable by your agent. Any location, any store, right? And you can virtually be in all these environments at once, taking with you your agent. It has your knowledge. It has your Obsidian vaults and all your Notion notes, but connecting it to real things that matter in the outside world and letting your agent navigate that with you. So these challenges can be solved. And I don't know exactly how they will be, but in 5 years from now, they will be solved. If you're interested in seeing one approach for solving this, then consider following along. Me and a small group of developers are working on Rook, the environment-aware assistant that follows you everywhere you go. We're trying to tackle these problems. And if you are interested in some of the ideas, then one way you can follow is subscribe to my blog, where I'll present the most distilled version of the information periodically. Or if you want to see the raw thing, then I'm streaming stuff like this every single day. And believe me when I say it's raw. It's going to be mixtures of sensible conversation and me heads down reading agent client protocol documentation. It's just a weird mix. But what you'll see over time is I am working to build this assistant and to use the assistant at the same time. I'm building my own cyber suit, and you're going to get to see me put it on, make videos, and use the agent to pull down the video from YouTube, dissect the transcript, cut out pieces of information that are useful for making shorts like this, or I'll have some guests on. We'll meet with other interesting people who are doing very strange things with AI. Sometimes it will be conversation. Sometimes it will be us just getting together and hacking. And I don't really know where it'll go, but it should be interesting.